Have you ever felt that sensation of navigating murky waters without a compass, trying to understand why the loyalty you offer never seems to be reciprocated in kind? Listen to this. In the next few minutes, I'm going to reveal a secret about female loyalty that's like an ancient map, full of hidden symbols that almost no one can decipher. Most men live an entire life without understanding this, and they pay a heavy price for that ignorance. Pay attention now. You keep investing everything in relationships that crumble like sandcastles. Every time that happens, a piece of your confidence goes with it. You question whether the problem is you, if you should have done something different, if there's something wrong with the way you love. But what if I told you that you're playing a game without knowing the rules? The truth is, there's a dark code operating behind the scenes. A system that determines when, how, and why female loyalty manifests or disappears. And man, it's not their fault. It's biology mixed with evolutionary psychology. It's the game of survival our brains have been playing for thousands of years. Do you want to keep being the guy who's surprised every time the ground disappears beneath his feet? Or do you want to be the man who understands the terrain and navigates with mastery? After 12 years of studying behavioral patterns in relationships, analyzing real cases, and diving deep into evolutionary psychology, I discovered something few have the courage to speak about openly. It's ultra-rare knowledge that works like an internal radar, alerting you to what's really happening. Female loyalty doesn't work the way you imagine. It operates in layers, like a deep ocean where each level has its own currents and temperatures. Most men only see the surface. They see the smile, hear the sweet words, feel the affectionate touch, and they think that's loyalty. What dangerous naivety. Now I'm going to show you the 6 dark signs that reveal the true nature of female loyalty. Each one is a piece of the puzzle that, when assembled, will completely change your perception of relationships. First sign, conditional loyalty disguised as unconditional love. Have you ever noticed how her behavior changes when you're at your worst? When money is tight? When you show excessive vulnerability? When your social status drops? Suddenly, that woman who seemed so in love starts to appear distant. Messages take longer to be answered. Plans together become less frequent. This happens because female loyalty is biologically programmed to be conditional. It's not malice, it's survival. Think about it. For thousands of years, women who chose strong and capable partners had a better chance of surviving and protecting their children. That program still runs in their brains today. When you consistently show weakness, her internal alarm goes off. Her body, her mind start looking for alternatives. Studies show that women in relationships unconsciously evaluate other options all the time. It's what we call hypergamy, the constant search for a higher value partner. When your perceived value drops, her loyalty wavers. Remember this, her loyalty isn't to you as a person, it's to the value you represent. Can you feel the weight of that truth? Second sign, the constant testing of boundaries as a strength gauge. She will test you. Constantly. Small provocations, absurd requests, unnecessary drama. Do you think it's just a difficult personality? It's not. It's a primitive evaluation mechanism. Every time you give in without questioning, every time you accept disrespect to avoid conflict, you are failing a test you didn't even know you were taking. And her loyalty diminishes a little more. Why? Because at the deepest level of the female brain, a man who cannot maintain his own boundaries will not be able to protect her. If you can't say no to her, how will you say no to the outside world? I've seen this happen hundreds of times. The nice guy who does everything, accepts everything, forgives everything. And in the end, he's always cheated on or abandoned by the woman he swore loved him. He confused submission with love. He confused temporary peace with true loyalty. A woman needs to feel that you are a solid wall, that you have structure, that your decisions don't change with the wind of her emotions. Does that make sense now? Third sign, the selective memory that rewrites history. Pay attention to this one. It's one of the most dangerous. When a woman starts to lose interest, something fascinating happens in her brain. Memories begin to be rewritten. That romantic dinner you had? Now she remembers it as boring. That amazing trip? She only remembers the arguments. This isn't conscious manipulation. It's her brain justifying the change in feelings. If she's feeling attracted to another man or simply losing interest in you, her mind needs to create a narrative that justifies it. Suddenly, you were always controlling, always insensitive, never truly understood her. And the scariest part? She actually believes this new version of the story. For her, that is the truth now. All those moments of loyalty and love you shared, erased or distorted to fit the new narrative. Have you ever experienced this? That feeling of being accused of things you never did? Or having your actions interpreted in the worst possible light? It's this mechanism in action. Fourth sign. Group loyalty before partner loyalty. Here's something almost no one notices. The opinion of her friends carries more weight than you imagine. If her social group disapproves of you, her loyalty is on borrowed time. Women evolved to value social connections and group approval. It was a matter of survival. Being excluded from the group meant certain death for a woman in primitive times. Today, this manifests differently. If her friends think she can do better, if her family doesn't approve of you, if her social circle sees you as inadequate, she will start to see you through those same eyes. How many times have you seen a relationship crumble after a conversation with friends? That girl's weekend that changes everything? It's no coincidence. Her loyalty is divided. And when she has to choose between you and social approval, guess who usually loses? Do you see how this changes everything? Fifth sign. The always-on emotional backup. This is an extremely uncomfortable truth. Most women keep what we call orbiters. Men who are there, ready, waiting for an opportunity. She might call them friends. She might swear there's nothing to it. But these men are an emotional safety net. If things go wrong with you, she won't be alone. This doesn't necessarily mean she will cheat on you, but it does mean her loyalty has a plan B, and sometimes plans C and D too. When she maintains intimate conversations with other men, when she shares relationship problems with them, when she seeks emotional validation outside, she is building bridges for a possible exit. You are the only one investing 100% in the relationship. She is diversifying her emotional portfolio. Does it hurt to accept that? Sixth sign. The loyalty that expires with passion. The infatuation phase lasts an average of 18 months. After that, hormones stabilize. The chemical fog dissipates. And what's left? For many women, when the passion ends, loyalty goes with it. They confuse the absence of butterflies in their stomach with a lack of love. They confuse routine with deadly boredom. And then the search begins. Consciously or not, they start looking for that feeling again, that thrill, that excitement of the unknown. If you don't understand this, you'll be lost when she says she doesn't feel the same way anymore. You did everything right. You were a good partner. But you didn't understand that to maintain her loyalty after the infatuation phase, you need to be more than just good. You need to continue to be challenging, continue growing, continue being a source of varied emotions. You can't be predictable and expect eternal loyalty. The stability you offer? To her primitive brain, that can sound like stagnation. Can you see the pattern now? I know all this might seem too pessimistic. It might seem like I'm painting women as calculating villains. But that's not it. They don't choose to be this way. It's evolutionary programming. Just as you feel attraction to certain physical characteristics without consciously choosing. The problem is that modern society sells a fantasy. The idea of unconditional love, of eternal loyalty based only on feelings. This is a dangerous myth that leaves men unprepared for reality. Now I'm going to teach you the Loyalty Codex, a framework I developed to understand and navigate these turbulent waters. Layer 1. Superficial loyalty based on interest. This is the most common and most fragile. She is with you for what you provide: status, money, security, experiences. When that ends or someone offers more, she leaves. It's that simple. Most relationships operate on this layer without knowing it. The guy thinks it's love, but it's a transaction. He pays the bills, she offers companionship and sex. When the equation becomes unbalanced, it's over. Layer 2. Emotional loyalty based on connection. Here, we already have something deeper. There's shared history, significant moments, a genuine connection, but it's still unstable. It depends on how she feels in the moment. If she meets someone who makes her feel more alive, more desired, more special, this loyalty can quickly evaporate. It's a loyalty to the feeling, not to you. Layer 3. Pragmatic loyalty based on shared values and vision. This is the only form of loyalty that stands the test of time. But it's ultra rare. We're talking about less than 10% of relationships. Here you've built something together. You have aligned goals, compatible values, a vision for the future that makes sense for both of you. Loyalty doesn't depend on how she feels today. It depends on what you are building together. But even this loyalty needs constant maintenance. It requires you to continue being the man who deserves this partnership, to continue leading, growing, adding value. Now you must be thinking, all this seems very calculated and cold. Where does romance fit in? Where does true love fit in? I'll tell you where it fits. In the fantasy world that Hollywood created to sell movie tickets. True love, romance, they exist. But they are built on a foundation of realistic understanding of human nature, not on illusions and unrealistic expectations. When you understand how female loyalty truly works, you can build something genuine. You stop being a victim of circumstances and start being the architect of your romantic destiny. You choose better. You position yourself better. You keep your value high. You understand the warning signs before it's too late. And most importantly, you stop blaming yourself when things go wrong. Stop thinking that if you had loved more, if you had done more, things would be different. Sometimes you can do everything right and still lose, because you were playing by the wrong rules. But now you know the real rules. Remember, knowledge is power only when applied. Knowing all this and continuing to act the same way is worse than ignorance. It's voluntary stupidity. You need to internalize these truths. Let them guide your decisions, not in a paranoid or bitter way, but in a strategic and conscious way. The point isn't to become cold or manipulative. It's about protecting your heart while remaining open to genuine connections. It's about choosing wisely instead of falling into any emotional trap. Some men will hear all this and choose the path of bitterness. They will use this knowledge to justify treating women poorly. That is the path of the weak. The strong man uses this knowledge to become better, to be the kind of man who naturally inspires genuine loyalty, to create relationships based on reality, not fantasy. Which one will you be? The truth is, female loyalty is like a complex dance. You need to know the steps, understand the rhythm, feel the music, but you also need to have presence, leadership, genuine value to offer. It's no use knowing the theory if you have no substance. If you are an empty man trying to manipulate the system, that never works in the long run. The final secret, the darkest of all, is this. The loyalty you seek in women must first exist in you. Loyalty to your values, to your goals, to your life's purpose. When you have that, when you are a man with clear direction, the right women will gravitate towards you, and their loyalty will be more solid, because it will be based on genuine respect, not on need or desperation. How many men do you know who betrayed themselves to keep a woman, who abandoned their dreams, their friends, their values, all to please her, and in the end, lost her anyway? It's because loyalty isn't bought with sacrifice. It's earned with strength and authenticity. Wake up to this now. The world won't wait for you to be ready. Women won't pause their instincts while you learn. The game is happening now, at this moment, whether you consciously participate or not. Every interaction you have, every message you send, every decision you make in a relationship is being evaluated through these primitive lenses I've described. You can choose to ignore this. You can go back to your comfort bubble where love conquers all and loyalty is guaranteed. But don't come crying when reality knocks on your door. Or you can take this ancient map I've just decoded for you and start navigating with mastery. You can use this rare knowledge to build stronger, more honest, more lasting relationships. The choice is yours. It always has been. But now, at least, you are choosing with your eyes open. No longer a lost navigator in murky waters, but a captain who knows every current, every reef, every hidden treasure in the vast ocean of human relationships. If this knowledge has opened your eyes, If this truth has resonated with your experiences, you know what to do. Like this now, before you forget. Subscribe so you don't miss the next truths that will transform your life. Hit the bell because this kind of knowledge isn't available forever. Society doesn't want you to know this. The industries that profit from lost and confused men don't want you to understand the game. But now you understand. Use it wisely. And always remember, in the end, it's not about controlling her loyalty. It's about being the kind of man who deserves genuine loyalty and having the wisdom to recognize when it truly exists. The map is in your hands now. The journey is yours.